Alright, now it's live.
Hello, my temporal and spatial anomalies, my human benders, and my overall freaks of evolution. Today we are finishing the Schrafillas saga.
Is that seriously our intro?
There's gotta be more.
Yes.
Discuss for like 30 minutes, guys. Before we get into the video. If only people were chatting, that would actually make us stay on this discussion before we start the video.
Only Shrad was in the chat.
Shrad.
One of my friends just said that people shouldn't hate The Last Jedi because nobody's forcing it to be their headcanon.
Oh, don't worry. I hate The Last Jedi for much more sophisticated reasons than that.
Yeah, I just find, like, I wonder if they actually consider these films canon or not, because if they do, oh no, they don't consider the films canon, yet other people shouldn't be mad because they shouldn't consider it canon either and just move on or something.
I mean, if they do, then forget
It's very
about it.
unclear.
Their opinion obviously doesn't matter. I saw this video earlier today. Like, it was some dude ranting about the prequels and stuff, and he honest to God reference confused Matthew, which just hurt my soul. So I was just sitting there like, oh my fucking God, people actually take that piece of shit seriously. We take the guy who can't figure out the concept of calling a fucking vote seriously on anything at all.
No, he's the same guy who said, "Why would the Republic trade with itself?"
No, but I mean, like, it's like there's numerous moments in his fucking review that are so stupid. Like, he doesn't understand that Amidala is calling for a vote and not just casting one vote of no confidence. Like, he honest to God thinks she's casting one vote of no confidence. She was calling for a vote of no confidence. She's not the only one that voted, you retard.
Nope, it was just her. She literally removed the Chancellor from office. She held a gun to his head and said, "Get out of that chair."
No.
Well, once I'm recovered, I'm going to start working the fuck out, and I'm like, I'll still do streams with you guys, obviously, but I'm going to. The day I finally take these bastards down myself are gonna be very, very enjoyable for me. Yeah. Anyway, let us start this trash fire.
It's only half trash.
Yeah, I know, but it's still gonna frustrate the living hell out of me.
Alright.
Let us begin, comrades. Let us begin with the torture.
Written character, and her inclusion drives an unnecessary wedge between Finn and Poe, two characters with great chemistry who many fans, myself included, were disappointed to see separated.
I actually wrote in the very first draft I wrote of it, like, Poe
Okay, Ryan's
went with
homophobic.
Finn on the mission to Canto Bight, and the two of them were going to be together on the mission. And it didn't work at all because those two get along too well, and so it was just really boring.
What were you thinking, Ryan?
I
The characters have too much chemistry. We can't have them go on a mission together.
okay. Like, I don't want to defend. I hate defending Ryan Johnson, but I mean, Poe and Finn, like, any conflict between the two of them would probably be really forced.
I agree.
Because their chemistry is very manufactured. Like, it's like it just seems like the actors like each other, and
Oh yeah, that's what they define by chemistry.
the characters are pretty much the characters have no real reason to like each other at all.
Then why would the conflict be manufactured?
Well, because from The Force Awakens, they established this friendship between the two of them in a matter of seconds.
I mean, I think it would be kind of cool if Finn finds out that Poe killed his stormtrooper friend.
Yeah, but
There's a rift in the relationship.
yeah, but he killed his own stormtrooper friends. Who cares?
Yeah, of course, but Ryan kind of ignores that, so he ignored in
I
this.
say Ryan kind of
timeline
forgot
too.
about it.
I mean, like,
So did JJ.
anyways, like, the bottom line is, I can understand why Ryan gave up, but that doesn't mean he should have given up. Like, he's a fucking idiot. Let's move on.
Thought Rose's monologues and romantic inclinations towards Finn were inappropriate to the context of the dramatic story, and this line in the climax was truly the nail in the coffin for me. I did not consider Rose to be a well-written character.
It's a well-written character for most of the film, but this was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean, it's
Oh man, it was the machete that just knocked the camel's back in half.
really not airborne. Really not airborne. Like, it's like most sane people would have left during the Leia Poppin scene. Like,
I'm referring to the character of Rose, not the entire movie. The movie lost me.
I
The movie
know.
lost me around Leia Poppins.
Like, I mean, I am like saying the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, I guess it broke the camel's back for being like 2 out of 10. Yeah.
But I said the same thing about Elsa in Frozen 1, and oh look, I was excited at the prospect of her being written better in Frozen 2, and I thought she was. So I was actually mildly excited to see more of Rose Tico. I hoped she would win me over this time. Moreover, I was happy to see that she already won a lot of fans over in The Last Jedi.
What we don't need to
Who
worry
liked
about
Rose?
that. Feminists, crazy people.
Don't
guys.
say Vietnamese because I don't like Rose.
You're Vietnamese?
Yes, man.
I mean,
Whoa,
even if you think she's well written, I honestly just found her really boring.
The most boringest one.
She's not interesting. She's not an archetype, a relatable or fun archetype like the original trilogy, and she's not an interesting character with a lot of history like the prequel characters. She's just like a normal person who does things because it's the right thing to do and stuff. Like, that's so, even if she was well written, that's so lame.
She's the type of character I don't even want to think about. Like, it just, everything about it is so wrong. Like, it's...
I mean, Ryan, have you heard the reasoning behind why Ryan invented the character of Rose?
Oh God, what is it?
Because she seemed like someone who didn't belong in a Star Wars movie. I shit you not.
Next time we're gonna have
Ryan, why can't you just like go? Get
I'm
into
on.
a
We have to
co-
have the nostalgia critic next Star Wars movie.
Can't you like just get hit by a car and go into a coma for like 200 years?
No, man, because that would be like an ancient curse released upon the new
I
people.
mean, yeah, like, as soon as he wakes up, he's gonna start making terrible films again.
It's an ancient curse on our asses.
Like, Star Wars Episode 23 is gonna be out, but there's like, can I make Episode 24?
I'm not sure if I want to respond to that, Latvian. Why don't you join the podcast? Join the cast.
Latvian hasn't been on in a while.
Ah, yes. there we
Hello
go.
there.
Hi.
There you are.
That.
Hello, Latvian. I don't know if I want to cover that because that video, that it's probably just gonna make me go crazy. Like it's
Also, just looking at the posters on the thumbnail, they look really good.
Yeah, and the guys still responding to this video is making me crazy.
Oh, don't worry.
Understand.
This will be the end. If you you can help us end it faster. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but anyway, we were just talking about how terrible Rose is, and
Yeah, and Ryan's reasoning for putting her in the film.
yep, that she seems like a character that wouldn't fit in Star Wars.
I mean, that kind of seems like the decision for every single creative choice that he made in Last Jedi. What is the
Yep.
least Star Wars thing I can do in this situation?
Yeah, it's fucking hell.
I mean,
It
he
is, but
seems
I also-
he seems like a fan, but not one that wants to see the franchise evolve naturally.
Oh yeah,
Seems like one who wants to mold it into his own vision.
all his choices seem to be like utterly selfish, like
Didn't care.
the thoughts about how it should have be, and no regard for other people. Fucking
Yep.
ridiculous.
Care because liking her character is a harmless and understandable opinion.
No.
Harmless,
guy-
yes. Understandable, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, it's
you
not
can't-
understandable.
You can't like this character because she doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, you can like her despite not being well written.
How can you like someone who dooms a whole bunch of people to death over some random fucking jargon bullshit?
I don't know.
I don't know, ask people
Maybe
who
they
like
just do.
Shinji from Evangelion. Oh wait,
I-
no one likes that character.
That, well, I feel like somebody's offended somewhere. I don't know.
Alright,
what-
alright,
I don't know.
Well,
No, don't
Evangelion
talk
fans
about.
are,
I don't care. I don't care.
alright. Sorry. Just
I might-
make an example.
I just said someone somewhere is offended. I don't know what about or whatever, but shots were fired at something.
One's
Yeah.
offended, like.
Look,
if
I mean,
insult that one
obviously,
guy.
you can subjectively like the character, but it's goddamn.
Anyway, I was excited to see Rose play a significant supporting role in The Rise of Skywalker, and she got less than 90 seconds of screen time.
Honestly, I kind of saw it coming.
It's
Look
the
at the
right
trailer.
decision.
Look at the trailers and how little importance that she gave. Like, oh no, she's not going on the adventure with the heroes. She's gonna be chilling in the background the whole time.
Probably.
And I hate to sound like an arrogant douchebag, but if you look at the marketing, she's not in it at all. They basically gave it away that she wasn't gonna be in the film.
It was
But the marketing also showed Dark Ray a lot, so you can't really trust the marketing.
It's fair.
Yeah.
it was a really good idea from them to not feature her in the movie because it was just,
I mean, like they don't have to make her the same idealistic prick that she was in The Last Jedi.
yep.
They can change her up a little bit.
Thank God.
You're
What?
good.
I mean, it's not like it makes the movie any better, to be honest.
No, Rise of Skywalker would still be a disaster. But
I
it
mean,
would
like
be
the only thing we can say is and the only thing we can say they accomplished by taking out Rose, and it's crowded.
They
Yeah.
accomplished
Fit in Poe can exchange more one-liners this way,
Yep.
or something.
All right.
Why? Because man babies on the internet didn't like her? What about the people who fell in love?
Fuck
Up with her cap.
off.
And babies.
Just
You were
poorly
just
written,
saying that
doesn't-
you were just saying that you understood why people didn't like Rose. Why do you do this to us, Schrafillas?
Why do you have to? Why do people have to?
Why do you give us hope and then rip it away?
Actual man babies, they are such a rare creature. They definitely exist, but people
I like the leprechaun.
I mean, I have seen some on camera.
No.
It was
I've seen one recording videos in his basement talking about the wonders of atheism.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like
It's not that bad.
there are people like that that just to vilify and dehumanize him like that. It's not gonna get you fucking anywhere, man. It's
Oh.
it's as if I would call anyone that disagrees with me a heathen. Like that's
Alright,
gonna murder.
you know what? Alright, I hate to use whataboutism, but I guarantee you if this video was visiting the Phantom Menace and why it was alright or not good at all, whatever his title was, about Jar Jar Binks, he wouldn't be saying, "What about the people that fell in love with him, George? What did you kick him out of your next movie?" No, he'd be saying, "Oh, thank God that that his screen time was reduced."
I mean, I always thought Jar Jar was sort of annoying when I was young, younger. I mean, but it's like I've definitely grown. He's definitely grown on me more recently. But I was never screaming for him to be taken out of the movies.
I don't think Jar Jar by himself it's funny. I think what makes him funny is because all the other characters in the movie really hate him.
Nah, not only the characters in the movie, but just like seeing how irrationally angry people get when he's included.
Well, I've upon my most recent viewing, I actually get the impression that Anakin doesn't really hate him, but that doesn't really mean that much.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
I love how that's
Got
his first phrase. Like he just sees
Also,
Jar Jar
like-
such a
Like
ridiculous
for
creature.
all the crap that people give the prequel dialogue, that phrase is now iconic because of how hilarious it is.
I mean, we can say
There are
that to a
plenty
lot
of other
people.
lines in the prequels that people like just use on a regular basis when discussing Star Wars. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh, I remember a line from the prequels. Oh, where'd you put my ketamine?
shut up. That should have been Death Sticks, you idiot.
Oh man,
What am I
this
saying,
guy-
Death Sticks? No, you don't want to sell me Death Sticks. I don't want to say Death Sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. I want to go home and rethink my life. There's some genuinely iconic lines from the prequels that everybody just sleeps on because Sam.
I find it so funny how Chris Tuckman is like, this movie is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad because it's not good. Oh, by the way, this line here about Death Sticks is pretty good. Anyway, the whole movie is bad. It's as if I would be watching a Star Trek episode, and like imagine I'm like high or something, and I like hate everything about it because I don't know, I'm just being insane, and I'm just like, there's fucking people talking and doing boring shit, but there's like there's like a 5-minute. There's a 5-minute speech devoted to. There's a 5-minute speech devoted.
Politics.
There's a 5-minute speech devoted to the dangers of drugs. This is good. Now on with the bad things again. They talk too much and sit down and. Oh my god, this fucking criticism, dude. Anyway, let's move on. I want to get through this video faster.
Wanted to see more of her. What about the people with reasonable complaints about her actions and dialogue who wanted to see her become better? This is the part where you write her better and win people over. A lot of people didn't like Ahsoka at first, but instead of writing her out of the show, they made her better.
Actually, that's kind of a false equivalency because Dave Filoni intentionally made her like really annoying because he knew that eventually he was gonna write her into a more to a
How do we
more
know that? How do we
more
know
developed
Ryan
character.
Johnson didn't do that?
You know what Dave Filoni didn't do when people complain about Ahsoka? He didn't say, "You guys are all just man babies, and you should learn to appreciate my amazing character." He said in every single featurette about Ahsoka, he's like, "Don't worry, give it a little bit of time. You'll see what I've
Well-
got planned for the character." He
well,
didn't go on Twitter and start a war because people didn't like his show.
Ryan Johnson doesn't start a fucking war. He just goes like, "Hey, you asshole," and then he leaves. But yeah, like the Ahsoka's young back then, so it has a justification. The Chinese bitch lady, what the fuck was her name again? I don't
Like
remember.
Marie Tran.
Rose
the
Tico.
Oh yeah, the Rose, yeah, Rose Tico.
You forgot Rose.
What a fucking terrible name,
We're
man.
talking about Rose.
Yeah, so
You forget her name.
Rose Tico. I mean, let's be honest. She's such a broken, busted character that it's the only I couldn't most people's solution was just to have her die in coma.
The coma.
Like honestly, JJ gave her a very. He was merciful on her. She should have never existed in Star Wars to begin with. It's just
I
another
mean,
one
that's
of.
the point.
It's just another one of Jar. I was about to call him Jar Jar. Jesus. So it's another one of the big roundhead man's retarded subversions. Why the fuck does Last Jedi have to exist?
Jar Jar Johnson.
They allowed her to grow as a person, develop a less childish personality, and become a more mature, well-rounded character.
Yeah, they had like 5 seasons, now 6, for her to grow and develop, and especially since he was one of the central characters. Doesn't really have the same freedom as of Rise of Skywalker, which is a 2.5-hour movie. Besides, Ahsoka was annoying on purpose. That was a intentional decision by Dave, because and he pulled a little sneaky on us and made her actually mature over the course of the show. You can't exactly do it with a minor character in a 2.5-hour movie, especially if the character is busted as Rose.
Especially if we've already seen Anakin and Obi-Wan in the prequels, and she is effectively like the one like extra character that we don't know anything about, and like it's the obviously we care about Obi-Wan and Anakin, but she's like a character that like we don't see her in the prequels, so it's like, hey, you're new. I'm interested in where you're going. I gotta go. I'll be back in like a minute or two. You guys continue.
All right.
To the point where she is now a fan favorite.
If I get where he's going here, but this is a false equivalency. Rose and Ahsoka are not the same, not even close.
I wanted to see Rose become a fan favorite, but instead, J.J. Abrams and the screenwriter of Justice League gave in to hate.
Chris Terrio. Oh my god, Chris Terrio's a joke.
Oh, why do people respect one movie he made?
Oh yeah, Schrafillas thinks that The Force Awakens is the best sequel trilogy movie, but he's also telling JJ that he's a shit writer.
No, I think
Very interesting.
I think most of what JJ did for T. Ross was the right decision, was a smart decision, but not necessarily the right decision. You know, like
T. Ross, if you mean Tross.
yes, T. Ross.
Don't say T. Ross. It's fucking annoying.
T-Ra.
T. Ross.
Like, you know, let's see, making Finn look like a bringing back Palpatine smart, because okay, there isn't really a villain you can bring back that everyone will recognize. And like,
Well, to be fair, we don't exactly know which decisions were JJ's and which were the product of corporate strangleholds, because JJ's film was kind of chopped into bits by Bob Iger. Honestly, I don't really care if the first cut of Frost was the worst film ever made. I'd rather want JJ's vision than this corporate product that we ended up with.
Yeah.
I don't like
rather
the Force.
wish-
I don't like the Force Awakens, not even a little bit. But it feels like a J.J. Abrams film through and through. It feels like something that he created, even if it was just a blatant OT ripoff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Don't give in to hate. That leads to the shark side. As in the side of Shark Tale. As in, I'd rather rewatch Shark Tale than your shitty ass movie, JJ. So, Finn completed his.
I
agree.
actually unironically want to watch Shark Tale over The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep, same.
Entire story arc in the second movie, and Rose did something really stupid. Why do I like this climax again?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Luke. This is when the climax gets
Oh,
insanely
no.
good. Luke's farewell to Leia is
boy.
incredibly powerful and resonant.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. How can astral projection Luke sit on things? Why can he touch Leia?
I
especially-
don't think
I
he
mean,
did.
you can clearly see that he
Of
touches
his
Leia.
line, no one's ever really gone, since it's a touching sentiment despite being turned into a meme. Seriously, I hate when YouTubers turn potentially emotional and harrowing lines of dialogue into memes. Like, come on, that was their mistake. Also, the link to 3PO is everything I could have hoped for. So with that,
Yeah, his
I know.
horsepower. I like the scene. It was a good scene. If you ignore the fact that his powers make no sense.
that striking cinematography and amazing score in tow, Luke prepares to face the entire First Order down in the
Practical effects right there. I have to say, like, doesn't this all look very practical to you?
Looks like a green
Compared to-
screen.
Yeah.
ultimate power move. Kylo's rage and resentment is perfectly illustrated by the massive overkill he sets forth, which inspires one of the 3 jokes in the movie I actually like.
Do you think you got him?
Okay,
bad.
that is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think it actually kind of represents General Hux from the Force Awakens back when he wasn't a total joke.
But Luke remains undeterred, still standing.
Yeah, because he's using an instant wind force power.
Luke and Kylo exchange some words and prepare
This scene is cool if you ignore the fact that he's not really there.
to fight, all while Poe realizes the importance of what Luke is doing. He probably should have told him that was his plan, but that doesn't make for compelling cinema, so whatever. But yeah, Poe understands that Luke is allowing them to fight another day and become a symbol of hope.
Symbol.
You were the good guys for 30 years.
You guys let the First Order take over in a matter of weeks.
Hey guys, we
So
And-
Schrafillas said that Luke is cool in the climax.
hey guys, we're the Resistance. There's only 30 of us left. There's like 5 billion Star Destroyers. Come join us and fight for victory and stuff.
It's really cool that Luke, despite resenting his status as a legend throughout the entire movie,
Decides to just die like a loser.
Yeah.
now realizes that there is a place in the galaxy for legends, and that his
Yes, to go
His noble
die in a
sacrifice.
Just,
fucking...
wait. I mean, I gotta
Okay.
see that. No, I gotta see that shot again. One where he just like Adam Driver just opens
cool
his
that
mouth.
Luke, despite resenting his status as a legend throughout the entire movie,
Okay, I have to say.
now
that, like,
realizes that there is a place in the galaxy for legends.
Holy shit, he looks.
okay, I have to say, like, Luke, he says that Luke makes a noble sacrifice, but how did Luke know that he was gonna die?
Why
I
would
think he
do
didn't.
it?
I
He'd
think
die?
I think the Force was literally just
why
yanked him.
would he assume that he was gonna die? If he's gonna use an astral projection force power, he knows he's gonna die. How doesn't he actually go back to see his friends? If I don't understand this movie.
Shut
Ryan,
up.
what are you doing?
Shut up. Just enjoy the unsatisfying action.
and that his noble sacrifice
Again, how is he know it's gonna be a sacrifice, Phyllis?
will inspire
His
hope and
noble
eventually
sacrifice.
Is it really that noble? He doesn't stop Kylo Ren. He doesn't stop the First Order. He never redeems himself in any meaningful way. He dies a loser. Like,
Hell yeah.
saving the Resistance should have been the first step to becoming a hero, not the last step.
Oh,
This
definitely.
this should be the beginning of what he does for the galaxy, not the end.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the equivalent of
I mean,
like
both JJ and Colin Trevorrow asked for Ryan not to kill Luke, so that he could save him for Episode 9. You know what he does?
fucking hell.
He kills Luke in the most embarrassing way possible.
And you know why it happened? It's because Kathleen Kennedy wanted it to. She was like, oh, we can. Or she was like, oh, we can emasculate him, on top of, as well as, shitting on him the whole film. Like, it's. Goddamn. It's. Critical Drinker described it as like she like rolls the dice, and she was successful with Force Awakens and unsuccessful with Last Jedi. I don't think so. I think she's just.
But to be fair, they've kind of treated Star Wars like, oh yeah, let's just see how it goes. Let's just try it out and see what happens. Even though it's fucking Star Wars.
God damn. Did you see that video from Anomaly about how George Lucas was horrified?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we know, but, like, the confirmation is just, oh, goddamn.
I mean, I'm kind of relieved that George Lucas doesn't like these movies.
Why would he?
Why would he? They utterly fucking destroy his thing.
Because if he did, I'd kind of have to reevaluate what I prioritize in these films.
There's these, like, deep fakes of, like, George Lucas by, I don't know, I think they're called Screen Rant or something.
They're not from Screen Rant.
Oh, well, something like that. They're not. I don't think that's the real George Lucas because it's deep faked. But if it is, that's probably one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen.
I remember the premiere for The Force Awakens. Someone dressed up as George Lucas. And they were holding a sign saying "Greedo shot first."
Oh, that was the most badass thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was just like,
these are my movies. Kiss my ass.
Yeah. Like that, and then he fights the guy like with his sign and wins.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that guy should just come back and just he should just like personally like destroy Disney by himself. I figure he could do it. God. Oh, this fucking shit.
Simpler time.
State of Star Wars, people. Let's move on.
His arc is absolutely beautiful.
That makes no sense.
Please
he's clearly there.
Why the
can
fuck
touch
is
things?
Why are they focusing on his shoes, and why do those shoes look like Crocs?
Oh yeah. What is?
And it all comes to a head in this final showdown with Kylo. And while I
It's not really a showdown. It's just Kylo being bad at hitting.
Close your mouth.
Close your. Have an expression that's more than nothing.
Boredom.
I personally would have loved to see the Jedi Order end with Rey forging a new order.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look, she's really trying with that
There
face.
is something so powerful about Luke, emboldened with an optimistic view of the future.
Just like They're all just like.
Optimus. You mean Luke actually sort of acting like
I
Luke,
mean, they're
you know?
all gonna open their eyes really, really wide. Look at that.
They look so bewildered. As though they have
Oh
no.
my god, it's the Force!
But they look so bewildered, like they have no like they have absolutely no idea what they're looking at. It's oh fucking hell, you know, the Pawn Story Games reviewed The Force Awakens, and he said like they're constantly over.
Pawn Story thinks that Star Wars, all of it's bad. It's all trash.
Yeah, but that I'm going from him in 2017 when he was less weird. But he actually that was 2016. But yeah, he said, "Fuck, you threw me off." Now I don't remember. He said, "Oh yeah, the characters in the movie constantly overreact. Like that's a massive fucking problem with the sequels. That characters are always overreacting, and Finn is just being insanely. He's supposed to look surprised, I guess, but instead he looks like he just saw. I don't know, The Last Jedi. Hold up, let me clip that.
That's not
too.
what I look like when I saw The Last Jedi. I think I just had a very blank, empty expression. It was kind of confusion because I wanted to like the film, and I was like, wait, doesn't make sense. I didn't like that.
You probably looked like Max Payne or something.
I kind of had the same character arc as Geeks versus Gamers. Basically, whenever I talked about the film to somebody, they're like, you know, you say you like the movie, but yeah, you really hated it. I could tell. I was like, no, wait, no, I don't. I was like, no, I do hate it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Airborne, does this describe how you felt? Wait, god damn it! All right, forget about it. Just I'll send it to you later.
The Finn's reaction sums up my whole experience watching the sequel trilogy, especially Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. All right, move on.
Future, proudly stating that he will not be the Last Jedi.
Themes.
This is the first movie in Star Wars history to drop its title within the film, and it does so.
What?
Okay. I get angry.
What? Alright, Empire Strikes Back. The Empire fucks over Han, Luke, and Leia, and everybody else. Episode 2.
No. He's just saying that's the first This is the first episode to have its name dropped in the film.
Oh, so
Right,
it's
it is
not
The Last
subtle.
Jedi.
Awesome.
Very, very incredibly subtle and deep themes, Ryan. This movie was definitely not made for baby children.
Why is this a good thing to be unsubtle, you fuckwits?
Because it's themes.
People shit on the prequels for like a lack of subtlety. They got no fucking idea what they're talking about when they do it. But it's
way more. It's way more subtle than these garbage films.
It's all this
I
corporate
think the
dog
only
shit project.
there are two examples of subtlety that I can actually think of. The Last Jedi. Honestly, I don't even care because
The subtlety is
because they're surrounded by garbage.
Kylo Ren's face.
Masterfully. Luke then
Masterfully.
encourages Kylo to do what Vader did to Obi-Wan. Strike him down.
Why? Why would he do that? He's trying to buy as much time as possible.
Yeah, and why would he want?
You're risking the lives of the people you're trying to save, you idiot.
And why would he want to die? Like
I'm very confused.
Old Ben dies. Like, I mean, old Ben. I don't know how old he is,
Yeah.
but he.
Besides, it's actually better to be dead in Star Wars now because you can use as many Force powers as you like. when you're dead. As long as you're a Jedi. It is advantageous as a Jedi to not be alive.
What is the
No.
point of being alive?
Stakes.
Nothing.
Have
Say, what's the point of being
Have
alive?
Fucking shit. Why the fuck would you do this?
As a
Disney?
diversion, Kylo takes the bait, only to find
I'm just trying to.
Luke's astral projection.
It's not a hologram, it's an astral projection.
It's same thing.
He's making a joke.
Projection ability is so cool.
It's a cool in concept, but it doesn't make any sense.
I know, but like a hologram would imply it wouldn't kill him afterwards. So it's not exactly the same thing. But yeah.
Didn't he come to the planet himself? He would have got shot to pieces.
You wouldn't know that though. You didn't know how many things were there.
He might pull a
Also,
mace window in the
looking at this shot right here. See those little tiny ones? Those are actually AT-ATs.
Yeah.
For the
You,
people
Ryan, you fucking piece of shit!
Oh, by the way, for people
Fuck
who say,
off! Holy shit!
I like how people say
Those were put in there. Those were put in there just to be like, oh, look at how much better my big redder ones are. Oh yeah, look at me. I'm Ryan Johnson. Yeah.
Compensating for something.
Tried to do this retarded laugh there.
I like how people defend the Last Jedi bombers by saying the AT-ATs are impractical, and then they have AT-ATs in the Last Jedi.
It's not nearly as impractical as you might think. Like it's
Besides, they accomplished their mission.
yeah, it's
They lose one AT-AT.
2 actually.
yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, that's because Luke threw one, and that was kind of
That was Luke.
that was kind of a fluke.
That was just Luke being awesome. Like that.
The Last
I don't know.
Jedi bombers barely managed to complete their mission through plot contrivances.
Yeah, it's funny. I can remember way more AT-ATs dying, but I think that's just me playing Lego Star Wars complete saga way too much.
Yeah, it's just 2. Although a third one was destroyed in a deleted scene that was never fully shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pieces. Remember when Coleman Trevor tried to kill Count Dooku and then Jango Fett just shot him a couple times and he died?
Expect Luke Skywalker to be a little bit more competent than a dinosaur Jedi.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Imagine that, but with 10 AT-ATs. He showed off a cool force power and won the day. He probably
Didn't. No, he
I'm just-
didn't. He did nothing. He delayed the inevitable. He stalled.
Unironically, ultra super powerful old Luke, I would expect to be able to defeat those things.
Yeah,
In
Legend
fact,
Luke.
I think the Resistance probably could have defeated the First Order if they hadn't tried to destroy the battering ram cannon. If they had just set up a choke point inside of the base, the First Order probably would have lost.
But simple.
Like if you remember the Resistance like shooting up that shuttle that Finn and Rose were on.
Yep.
Imagine that, but like they didn't come through a wide open gate. They came through a small little door.
Yep.
But military tactics be damned, right?
It's not even military tactics. It's basic common sense.
would have died even if he did come down to the planet. What's the difference between him being or not being on the planet?
Could have
The
killed
difference
Kylo.
is that he shouldn't have died like this. If he was actually there, he could have made a genuine difference. So,
If he were there, he would have probably,
think about it,
force
Shaft.
pressed the AT-ATs.
If he just astral projected and didn't die, I think people won't bitch that much. They would just
No,
find it weird.
You know what he also could have done? He could have actually gone to the planet, stay in the Millennium Falcon, then astral project from over there, which is way less harder, and then not die, and then have everybody come with him. There you go.
Yeah, but how they will get there?
What? Oh, well, he
Mm.
goes with that bitch that can't close her mouth.
Ah,
Or her
oh
eyes.
yes,
Uh,
makes more
Well,
sense.
he has so many
now.
problems again. You people complain about the weirdest things, and yeah, I've
I
said
think
this
so.
before, but I love Luke's death scene. I'm a little.
Yeah,
I don't.
I really love how he gets back up, and gives us the idea that he might be okay.
I mean,
Especially,
it's the twin sons. It's twin sons. Shut up.
I really love
Shut
how
up.
he gets. Shut up, you SCW piece of shit. I love how he gets back up, then looks all proud, like I've done a good job today, and the future is ahead of us, and we're gonna do all types of good. Oh wait, I'm dead.
So if you've seen Ivan Ortega's re-edit of The Last Jedi, it takes like a 1 out of 10 movie up to like a 3 out of 10.
Poor
He ends the movie before Luke dies. Then it says written and directed by people who actually love Star Wars. And
I
that
love
pissed
you,
off,
Ivan.
and that pissed off the sequel trilogy community.
What?
It's actually a pretty good re-edit, but it's like trying to polish a turd.
It was
Sure is it's now polished, but it's still bad. He just made it slightly better.
That edit. I didn't watch. I watched the no female edit once.
I am planning on making an re-edit of the prequels after my series is done. Like I'll call and mainly
You're gonna fix those garbage films.
Or you should just like remove all the scenes that people hated.
I should actually do that, and then just
the movie just makes no sense.
yeah, exactly, like just the entire scenes, like it just like like the scene.
So we want a Geonosis now, huh? Wait, because all of those bad scenes were taken out. Maybe those scenes are required for the plot, and I just hated them because I thought they were boring.
just have none of the political scenes. Like characters just go to places and we don't know why. But anyway, like I mainly want to add back in some deleted scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm confused why he takes his robot hands with him to the afterlife. But this
alright.
twin sons gazing is just so profound.
What's cool about it beyond the visual? Like, what's cool about it? Please tell me.
Luke staring off into the twin sunset. It's like
I
him
don't
being.
know,
It's like
Wasn't
him
it always meant to represent the future, like in Revenge of the Sith?
He has no future.
It is
Only glasses.
absolutely. It is absolutely supposed to represent the future.
Why is it now representing the end of Luke's quote-unquote character arc?
Because Ryan Johnson is a subverting motherfucker.
Fucking hack.
His story is so much more meaning and beauty. Again,
You're just inventing it out of nothing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I felt things. It was cool. It was profound.
artistic use of nostalgia. I wish JJ knew the meaning of those words.
Oh, Ryan doesn't really know it either.
I don't know. Ryan doesn't really know much things.
I am sick and tired of this stupid bullshit.
Stupid.
Hey,
He's
he's about to insult the movie again.
Yay.
I hate to end on a con, but that's how the
Oh wait, crazy Godzilla fan did this shit. How much she paid him?
All the ammo in the world. Hopefully we don't have to say much more about this bullshit.
That's how the movie ends, so yeah. The happy feel-good reunion on the Falcon as it travels through lightspeed just irks me. Rey, Finn, and Rose miserably failed, and it didn't seem to affect them.
Crippled the First Order.
Why do you like
if they get a few more ships, they can easily take them.
What do you mean? They're They're gone.
No,
They're
if
dead. This is all that's left.
if like just went
Airborne. Didn't you fucking realize you neo-Nazi, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobe, reality phobe? That nobody's ever really dead. I mean, gone or vaporized.
Oh, look
Those
at the
probably still
Porg.
alive.
Porg is now part of the Resistance. The most useful member on the ship is the Porg.
Why are there porgs in this fucking?
No, Disney. No, they get their money from the porgs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I kind of find it interesting that they thought that Baby Yoda wouldn't be marketable, and they just like put him in the Mandalorian for fun. Whereas in the sequel trilogy, they're like, borrow toys of Rey. He's got really cool, boring outfits. Oh yeah, Kylo Ren, he's so amazing. All the toys. Hey, you want some Rose Tico toys? They're on sale for 5 cents. Then Baby Yoda's like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna want Baby Yoda, so we're just gonna.
I laughed at that, by the way. My mic didn't pick it up for some reason, but that was.
Okay, let's see. What is?
Yeah.
No, like
90% of the Resistance is dead, and everyone is happy. I famously made this comparison before, but imagine Infinity War ending with all the remaining Avengers hugging and congratulating themselves for surviving the snap. Imagine Tony and Nebula flying home super fast, playing paper football.
Well, as little as I know about the movie, that could actually work because it's like, okay, we did it, we won.
They didn't win though. They lost.
Oh, sorry. I meant Endgame. Yeah, all right, you're right.
No, Infinity War. Thanos snaps half the universe, and half of all life dies.
Yeah,
It's actually one of the. It's actually probably the best scene in all of the MCU.
I mixed up Endgame and Infinity War.
And don't compare the two. Infinity War is far superior.
Alrighty then.
Football in good spirits. That's how Last Jedi ends. Adventure time. Marvel can do what they want though. They already made us enough money that they earned one sad ending. Star Wars still has to meet its quota. But you know what? I'll end on something positive anyway. I know I said the Broom Boy ending was corny, which it is, but it still shows that a hero could rise from extremely
Okay, I think I've already explained it before, but I'd just like to reiterate my point about how toxic and disingenuous the idea of that literally anybody can be a Jedi is. It's basically turned from people with bloodlines are more powerful than people without them, but anybody can still train as long as they have enough midichlorians. Now it's, if you are born powerful, that means you're important, and if you are not born powerful, then you'll never be as good as Rey.
Yep.
No matter how hard Anakin, even Anakin is chosen one. No matter how hard he trains, no matter how hard Obi-Wan trains, no matter how hard Mace Windu trains, no matter how hard Dinosaur Jedi trains, they'll never be as good as Rey because Rey was born with the key to being a Jedi.
She was Palpatine.
Sure, I don't like the idea of bloodlines dictating how amazing you are. I don't love it, but it's way better than. If you're born a Jedi, then you're a Jedi.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you got a dude who's really powerful, having children with a woman that's really powerful with the Force, you would expect a child to be really powerful with the Force. But I mean, this idea of just random fucking ultra powerful people just sprouting up from the ground.
It's not only.
You can grow your own Jedi for only $10.99.
It's a really toxic message to send to kids.
Oh yeah, anyone can be.
Nobody can relate to Rey. Nobody can because she was born better than everybody else. He was born perfect. Even Luke Skywalker, who was born with the mighty Skywalker blood, had to work for everything that he achieved. Rey was born with the key to winning. Nobody can be Rey. Nobody can aspire to be Rey. Rey is above us.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Luke, his skill with the Force is something he has to really, really, really work for. But what he does have from his father, that he has an innate ability from, is his piloting skill. Like that's
Also, because he also trained with his T-16.
yeah, of course. But the reason he's so good at it, like, is because
Is piloting a hereditary trait?
well, I don't know if it is or not, but the point is his father was really good at it. So is he. Like it's a like it. The Force is something you have to work for a lot harder because it's sort of like, I don't know, finding inner spiritual peace in like real life. Like it's, you get what I mean. I'm trying to, yeah. I'm tired.
We're almost there, man.
Gains,
We're almost
much like Rey. It's a great idea, but not very good execution, which is
there. It's a horrible execution. I really hated that scene so much. I wish it was cast into the fire.
a consistent theme throughout the entire movie. I want to love The Last Jedi. Over the course of the past 2 years, I've kind of come around to this movie.
I wonder how much
I
that
want
kid.
to love
it
it
too. Somebody wants to hate films.
I wonder how much that kid has been bullied for being in this movie.
Probably 0.
Oh no, he probably got paid a lot and is tutored privately.
Yeah, he's probably living his best life.
This movie in a similar character arc to Luke's. After my first viewing, I felt underwhelmed, upset, annoyed, disappointed. I had no
Same.
interest in seeing what came next, and I truly believed that it was time for Star Wars to end.
Same.
I started teaching my pupils why the legacy of this film was failure, hypocrisy, hubris.
Same.
But since then, I've had people talk some sense into me, teach me things about the
Not same.
film I never considered, and realize that there's a sense of truth, of purpose.
I'm saying,
Stockholm syndrome.
Yep.
she looks.
More
that
like
shot,
brain.
in that shot, Ray looks pretty ugly.
He's lying to us, by the way. I don't believe him. I think he
No,
always. I think he always wanted to like the movie.
So he just convinced himself to like it. Over
It just took him this long to find a at least semi-reasonable way to at least call the movie all right.
I like Ray looks.
Beauty
Aye.
that I couldn't fully grasp
Beauty that I couldn't fully fucking grasp.
at first. Nothing will ever make up for its flaws, much like nothing will ever erase the failure of the Jedi Order. But
God,
He failed because of the Jedi Order, though. I said
Look
earlier.
at that! Look at that horrible lightsaber swing.
it does enough right
why
that
does he use the back?
It's a reverse grip.
Oh my
Come
god!
on, if you're gonna use a reverse grip, at least be like Clone Wars and make it look convincing.
Well, look, is like
Why did people use reverse grips? Jesus,
I'm glad it exists and man.
not being made. And but also, like, let me tell you something. If the movie was actually good, it would be so much more inspiring than any of this philosophical mumbo jumbo that you've been spouting for the last 38
It taught me a
minutes.
valuable lesson that there's a certain excellence in failure. This
Yes,
What the
this
fuck are you talking about?
I have no idea.
movie failed to take many of the storylines in Force Awakens in exciting directions. It
did.
concluded
Are you
everyone's
saying that's
character
good?
arcs and left no intriguing plot threads for a third
Oh, we're
film
about to
to
find
work
out.
with. It frustrated, bored, or
look at those eyebrows.
irritated me more often than the average Star Wars film. I
More than.
More than me.
Ah.
take many of the storylines in Force Awakens
Why is that
Setting
camera
direction.
panning?
Let's
It
see.
concluded everyone's character arcs and left no intriguing plot threads for a third film to work with. It frustrated, bored, or irritated me more often than the average Star Wars.
Oh, come on.
Well, prepare for guard.
And shut up
No,
about Attack of the
You know,
Clones.
if this film was made
Why
20
did leave Attack of the Clones alone? It had some cheesy dialogue. So what?
this movie was made in 1920 and like with the style, with like the quality, but like the camera movement was still there, it would have been everyone would have gotten motion sickness from how much the camera moves.
Attack of the
Oh, yeah.
Clones.
No, I'm talking about
Attack
JJ
of the
films.
Force Awakens. Oh yeah. Oh man. He used to do a lot of like handheld movement. Now he just kind of puts it on a tracker or on a track and just has it pan and pan and pan and pan and pan and pan and pan.
And as much as the audience panned this film.
Attack of the Clones at the fucking worst is like a 8 or 6 out of 10. Like-
I think that's worse like a 6.
Well, I
Guess that can be like a really amazing film.
all right,
I
all
think
right. Okay. You can then be Mr. 6, and I can be Mr. 8 because I was afraid there was somebody else who was
think,
gonna say 6.
I think
But I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right, so-
whatever.
Film.
Alright,
I
so-
personally
No.
do not-
All right. Attack of the Clones at worst like an 8, and according to Airborne, at worst like a 6. Like Last Jedi, the best you can hope for is like a 1, and not like a
No,
minus.
I don't mean
10,000.
like I would give Attack of the Clones a 6. I mean like some scenes and sequences I would give a 6.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna have a whole discussion about it, so I was like,
Oh.
no.
What's the
I-
highest score you would give? Like, what's the highest
the
rating you would give one of the scenes in The Last Jedi?
Well, I would probably give the R2 scene like a 7 out of 10.
So,
But that's probably the only scene I would give above a 5.
Mm-hmm.
are there any scenes that are just
Consider
a
it-
0 out of 10?
Oh,
be a very good film overall. And yet, without its failure, I never would have gotten amazingly directed and shot sequences
Amazingly directed, no. Amazingly shot, sure.
like these in Star Wars. I never would have appreciated seeing Mark Hamill's tremendous acting chops in live action. I never would have been intrigued by Rian Johnson as a filmmaker and seeked out his other works.
I'm intrigued in the sense that I'm intrigued of crime scenes. That was a
Yeah.
crime. Star Wars.
Yeah, it was like one of the most clean. Like, they just vaporized the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is this title?
Eyes
Hell.
out.
Hell, anyone could have done it. Wow, Ryan.
That's a tagline, not a title.
Ryan.
You know, that's
Ryan,
not technically
you're not
about
the
him.
first. You're not the first one who made a movie like this. You do realize that, right?
He understands. He does actually take a lot of inspiration from like Kurosawa films and older murder mysteries. He's not a total hack. Okay, he's a total hack, but he's a hack who does he does sometimes reference the films that he was inspired by, even if he can't even begin to replicate their fantastic filmmaking.
I
Whatever.
never would have seen some incredibly bold, risky, and ultimately
Killing Snoke
Suicidal.
was not.
Mahler said it
Well,
best: if your
no.
film is risky, it needs to be good. Because just taking a risk doesn't mean it's automatically good.
Killing Snoke isn't risky. It would have been risky developing Snoke into an actual character.
Killing Snoke would have been suicidal, not risky.
Risky is flying off a cliff and exploding the car and burning to death.
Risky, that's suicidal.
I know, but that's what risky is to him.
Brilliant
You know what?
storytelling that pushed the boundaries of what Star Wars could accomplish.
I don't
The
know.
boundaries.
Nope.
I think George
What do you
Lucas
mean? What
always
does he
did
mean
that.
by accomplish? Like,
All right.
does he mean in terms of just how, out there and stupid it can be, or does he mean like actually how good the storytelling can be?
All right.
Because
so,
if he means the latter, I implore you to watch, any of George Lucas's films.
Schrafillas, for Christ's sake, put the boundaries of how good Star Wars can be.
Mm-hmm.
If you took the best parts of older Star Wars films, and put them all together in one movie, you would still not be able to push the boundaries because they're fucking infinite. They are. The world he's created is so amazing. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, he doesn't like the prequels, so
He does not have any. This is what I hate about The Last Jedi. So many people are like, "This is all they could have done with it." Like it makes people's imagination just die for some reason.
It makes people's imagination going haywire to try and explain every single plot detail, like Five Nights at Freddy's.
What the fuck kind of connection is that?
Oh no! Have you seen the amount of theories that Matt Pat does trying
I
to
don't
make
care.
sense of?
Yeah, people will literally invent a whole new film to defend The Last Jedi. They'll make assumptions based off of what they thought was going to happen. And then when we say you're inventing the film, people are like, no, I'm just using evidence. Like, pisses me off to no end. Because you can't convince them otherwise, because they're just gonna keep saying that little shield of it was implied in the film. You just didn't see it.
I would not have reconsidered my feelings on this
Oh, that's exactly what I have done to The Last Jedi.
movie had Rise of Skywalker not left me so empty, so devoid of investment in any way. I found its filmmaking sterile, its storytelling baffling, its ideas uninspired, and its essence hollow. And aside from the baffling,
Like,
I can agree with that.
that mostly
But the
sounds
Last-
like The Last Jedi, except for maybe it didn't really have sterile filmmaking.
You know, I get saying this if you look at The Last Jedi as like some kind of Royal Rumble of absolute destruction that ends up having the whole fighting tournament area be blown up and look at that as like and look at that as like something that's fun, because a lot of shit was destroyed, and all the wrestlers died, and the audience died too, like but like I understand that you can look at that as fun, but if the next match at Saturday, like if you then come to the stadium and it's still burned down and people are like trying to get all the bodies out of the rubble, like don't come to me and be like, why is this so empty and boring? Like
That shot looks.
The Last Jedi is just like a roller coaster ride of destruction of the Star Wars franchise. Like one thing you can give that movie is that you definitely feel something as your favorite franchise is being relentlessly destroyed.
Oh yeah, it's resentment and pain.
Rise of Skywalker, it's just it's
nothing.
it's just some half-hearted.
To be fair, I mean, even if the Rise of Skywalker was gonna try and conclude the franchise, there wasn't a franchise to conclude anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was already gone.
storytelling, I can't say any of those things about Last Jedi. It's a mess on so many levels, but it's a beautiful mess.
Yep.
Fuck off.
I get what he's trying to say, but it's
Postmodernist
not
garbage.
true. I mean, I have nothing wrong with subversion and some postmodernist stuff here and there. I like One Punch Man, and that's very postmodern. But The Last Jedi is nothing but postmodernist nihilistic crap. There's no story or anything beyond it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
One that I'm happy I experienced. At the end of the day, I can watch this movie and have a good time. Like I can with any Star Wars movie that isn't Attack of the Clones.
Jesus, he hates on Attack of the Clones so much.
Hey, at
Because
least he likes the other two.
Only way he can defend TLJ.
What?
Dare I say, I might consider this movie pretty good if I fast forward the Canto Bite stuff.
Movie good if I delete part of the movie from my brain.
Okay, what is that wig? It looks like a turd. No, I just have to keep pointing out stuff.
I don't want to
With
look
that
at
gone,
this
I can
anymore.
tolerate Poe and Holdo's Dance of Deception because the
You said that was your least favorite part of the film.
focus is now on a beautiful story of regret, sorrow, and failure. It hits
Man, I've just heard nothing but post garbage for the last 3 minutes.
I just skip to the end. Like just
hard seeing
Let-
our
let-
childhood hero
let him talk, and then at the end we talk about his bullshit.
go through this self-inflicted trial of will. Maybe that's not what you wanted from him, and that's okay. But I'm happy I got to see this. It was beautiful. Feel free to disagree. Feel free to feel any way you want about this movie as long as you don't harass anyone. Because at the end of the day, it's just a movie. Arguing
I hate you.
It's just a movie.
Fuck off. Attack of the Clones is also just a movie, so why don't you enjoy it? Why you gotta harass Hayden Christensen? You hypocritical fuckstick. He's only saying this because The Last Jedi is terrible, by the way. He wouldn't use this for any other movie he likes.
about Star Wars is what we grow beyond. That is the true burden of all fans.
We don't argue about Star Wars. Star Wars. We don't argue about Star Wars. The Star Wars never changes. It becomes stale and stagnant, and we let Disney just shove food into our mouths, regardless of how it tastes.
He's gonna be outsourced to China.
I mean, this is true for the prequels, but if you see what we're doing right now is this, then you know, why Schrafillas? Why did you have to make this video? This just murders his credibility. Like I'd almost say I'm pretty sure I can confidently say I don't want to see his videos again. And this is just such. This is like, I knew it was a bad movie, but then I saw the light, and
Well, he still thinks it's bad. He just kind of almost sort of likes it. You know, he knows the movie's poorly written, but he appreciates some of the quote unquote risks that Ryan took.
As I enjoy this delightful warmth, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this.
Okay, I think we
Get
could
out.
end right now.
So,
Okay, let's just conclude this.
thoughts on the video, everybody, out of 10.
I'd say it's a 4 out of 10.
Tail share.
minus
Since I
5 out
really
of 10.
don't give a fuck, I give it a 5 out of 10.
Give it a
Or
4.5
0.
out of 10.
Johnny, we need to
I
react
give it
to
a
Jack
minus
Sick
5
too.
out of 10.
We all need to react to Jack Sick too.
Oh, don't. I told.
Okay,
I asked you
since
not to tell. I asked you, Diego.
since it referenced crazy Godzilla fan movies, I give it a 5.5 out of 10. That's about it.
God. This is such a disaster of a video.
It's way better than the other ones we've covered.
No. These other ones are just some psychopath ranting. This is just some guy, like, trying to use his brain, but not. But like, he
This is like, I think
He
this
lets-
is
he lets
this
emotion.
is I think this is a misguided soul.
Yeah, like it's really sad and frustrating.
I mean, at least he hates the Rise of Skywalker, so you know.
No, he hates it for the wrong reason.
Okay.
Plot.
Yeah.
It's well, he
would you-
hates it because it's not adventurous, I guess.
Which guys you have been responding? Which you guys have responded to before him?
Nerval, Thomas McCarl, Matt Pat, Anna Matt, and
Chris Stuckman.
Chris Stuckman.
Yeah.
I think Nero's video might be my least favorite.
Mine is
I
Anna
hate
Matt.
that the most.
And Animat's definitely dumber, and he puts less work into his videos. But Nerl is just like
Yeah.
he's extremely. I hate to use this word, but he has an incredibly toxic view of Star Wars fans.
Nero?
Nerl, he made this video called "A Guide to the Last Jedi," where basically he tells
Oh,
us
yeah,
that we're
that
all wrong. Tells us that we're all wrong about the film, and that he.
Oh
actually
yeah,
knows
that
what's
guy
up.
that bitches about the special editions.
That was that Nerl?
That's the same guy.
Well, now that we've dealt with this fucking video, what do we do next?
Well, okay,
Yeah,
I
well,
can't
Jack's
wish
it
for,
too.
can't wish
I'm
for
gonna
Gensarai 1 response, but
Yeah,
I
can you end the stream?
End the stream.
Ah,
Yes,
come
and the
on, you don't
fucking
want to
stream.
react to